So I didn't think Sony would be the bad guys in this situation, but that seems to be the case because on the PlayStation blog today, they have said, which today is July 1st of 2026, that physical disc production ending in January of 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. They go on to say, as consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical discs to digital, physical game disc production for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on the PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impact on games already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in disc format. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to consumer trends as the general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical discs. This transition enables us to align more closely with how most of our community prefers to access and play games today. We'll continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovation in how players can access games and provide choices as to where players prefer to purchase new games, whether that's at a retailer's or PlayStation Store. We remain committed to delivering a world-class gaming experience to our fans, and we thank you for your continued support. Okay, this is not good, mainly because on these consoles, space is very limited. All right. You can go out and buy, I guess, extended storage in the forms of hard drives or whatnot. But seeing as how updates and the games themselves are not usually compressed well, it eats up memory very, very fast. So this is going to be a problem in the future if you are a PlayStation console owner. So PS5 onward, I guess. I don't think this is going to turn out very well. I think this is going to be catastrophic in the future because there is no way you can have a complete library now without spending more money. You get what I mean? Because thinking back to when Cyberpunk released, right? And even though I got it on PC, the amount of updates that game required got pretty hefty over time. So I can't imagine the updates that are going to be rolled out for, let's say, a Call of Duty or what have you. I don't know how they intend to proceed in this manner. Because now what it's looking like is that this whole PlayStation console ownership thing feels like a big joke or a big money pit. And I think GTA 6 might have been the driving force, which that's ridiculous too, by the way. A game costing $100 is unthinkable. But yeah, there's no physical disc to that either. That is just a code in box. So are they really trying to follow Rockstar on this and bet the farm that GTA 6 is going to be the gateway to the landscape changing forever? I don't know. I don't think it's going to work out like they think it's going to work out. It just seems like a really weird gamble, especially considering how things are getting more expensive and how you're just going to expend more and more money on additional hardware as you own these systems. Because unless there's a big memory shift in which memory is dirt cheap, I don't think you're ever going to get a system that has more than 2 terabytes of storage. And like I just said, 2 terabytes is going to go very quickly when you consider all these updates. But it does depend on what you play, but still, I just don't understand how they think this is a good thing. Because how much storage exactly are you going to have to expend for one game in some instances? It just doesn't add up for me. So I don't know if there's going to be a profitable PS6. And I've been thinking about this for a while because PlayStation is not Steam. You understand what I mean? PlayStation doesn't have the same variety as Steam. and then some PlayStation games were released on Steam. So I'm not really getting where the boldness is coming from. The only thing I could possibly think is that they're really betting the farm on GTA 6 being the thing that pushes the PS5 forward, which I don't know how safe of a bet that is. I really don't. And I have to say, it's a bet that seems very foolhardy because projections are way different from how the market actually responds. GTA 6 will sell well, but how well will it sell once people get their hands on the game? Will it be everything that everybody wanted GTA 6 to be? I'm not sure. And I'm not sure how these things will actually turn out. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think they have ruined things for a lot of people moving forward, especially seeing as how the turnaround is so fast, because 2028 seems like it's a long way away. But let me remind you, we're already halfway through the year when it comes to 2026. 2028 is right around the corner, especially seeing as how this is in January. They're starting at the top of the year. They're not even waiting until like September or something like that. They're starting like at the top. So that is wild to me. And now this could just be me, but I just think it's kind of foolhardy to entrust your credit card information to a company who seems to get hacked every 5 years or so, and it's always a big to-do. I remember even back on the PS3, there was a hack. And then there was the infamous Lizard Squad hack on the PS4. So it's very uneasy to trust such vital information to a company that seems to get exposed ever so often and frequent enough time to where it's a bit of a problem. And now that all your games are digital, what does that mean for the infrastructure moving forward? Can someone just go into your account and remove all your games? Is that possible? I don't know. And then when you're talking about holiday season time, what are parents supposed to buy for the children? Like, how does that work out? Are you just supposed to go to the store, presumably, buy the console, and then if you don't have internet access in your home, it's just a big paperweight. You can't necessarily do anything with it because you can't load discs into the thing. So that's a problem. And then when you buy it, let's say you get the new Insomniac Marvel game, whatever, right? Let's say it's just broken on day one and it takes 15 gigabytes to fix everything in a day one patch. That is memory that could be used for other games gone now because you got to download the 60 plus gigabyte game plus this gigantic patch. And I'm just using it as an example, but that is a reality that can happen. So this whole thing is very odd to me. But to continue, I cannot believe they're the bad guys in this situation. I mean, it makes sense a little bit. I just didn't think they would be so bold about it. So, I mean, for all the guff people give Nintendo, even like a $80 Mario Kart, I don't know about this, fam. I don't know about this. This is kind of wild. $100 GTA 6, and now you can't even buy discs in the store. So that means physical retailers are about to get sandblasted. GameStop, Target, Walmart, whole video game section is kind of gone because I can't imagine that inventory lasting or being viable to keep for a extended period of time. So it's just going to be Nintendo at the brick and mortar retailer stores. That's a wild thought. Because if anybody hangs in there, it's going to be Nintendo because, well, they just came out with a console that prioritizes cartridges. And can I just say, it's really weird that cartridges just kind of won from the looks of it when it comes to storage devices. It seems that way. That's very funny. But yeah, wow. I guess PlayStation has ruined gaming. I kind of a little bit because they don't seem to have the same infrastructure as Steam. And then what I've been trying to get to say is that if a PS6 is a whole band, if it's like $1,000 plus, like that Steam machine, which that was a mistake too, but we won't talk about that right now. But if a PS6 is a full band, $1,000 plus you have to pay for online, just get a PC. Like you can find a PC for $1,100 at this point, because paying a PlayStation Online service bill, you might as well say, is a bit ridiculous. I don't know. Just get a PC because I don't actually see the point anymore moving forward. But with that being said, stay rosy.